Catherine?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, busy Christmas and New Year with work and family and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ready for a rest.
So, Catherine,
All right with you?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Yeah, good, thanks.
we're ready when you are, Catherine, so the floor is yours, thank you.
Lovely. Good to talk to you today, Darren. We've just been speaking to Alex Matos. Tell us a little bit about him. How are you going to fit him into your Huddersfield Town plans?
Yeah, no, we're really pleased to have Alex on board. Somebody that we pursued very in the latter parts of the year and kept up to speed in terms of how he was getting on. So to get him done relatively quite early in the window, we're really delighted at the football club, and I'm just thankful for the chairman that he's backed us and allowed us to bring Alex in.
We've heard various descriptions of what he might bring to the side. Box to box midfielder, really good in the tackle, lots of energy. How would you describe him, and what role you kind of got him earmarked for?
Yeah, all those what's been echoed with him before in terms of his style of play and his enthusiasm, his energy, but also as well his use of the ball as well, really as well. So all those kind of things. The character that he is would bowl well with the team, and it'll help the team out in that midfield area. And what it does, Catherine, as well, it gives us an opportunity to change the dynamics of the midfield with him in there. So that's something that we've always wanted. That's something that we've secured, and that's something that we'll be able to implement with not just the game going forward on Sunday onwards, but into the league programme as well.
Is he going to play then just in front of the back line, and then maybe that gives other players an opportunity to push forward a bit more?
That would be wrong for me to say that he'll play in just one position, Catherine. What he will do, he can play in all the different dynamics in the midfield. That's what he gives us. He can play in advanced positions. He can play in defensive positions. He can play as a two. He can play on his own. And that's what he brings to us, really, as a team and as a group. And that's where we see him going forward. So as he's just come in now, we've worked with him. It's great to have him with us. And obviously, the longer he's here and the more time we get to work with him, the more I'm sure we'll see different attributes to him.
Quick word on the transfer window in general. Firstly, have you recalled Jordan Rhodes?
Not at the moment, Catherine. No. As I said, we won't speak about Jordan until we keep things professional with where he's at the moment. And before, if anything like that should happen, then we'd like to speak to them first. But at the moment, no.
Is that because there's been a lot of talk about a Serbian striker being on your radar, Bojan Radulovic? Apologies if I pronounced that completely wrongly, but is he somebody that's on your radar? And potentially, if he arrives, does that lessen the need to perhaps recall Jordan?
For me, it would be seriously unprofessional of me as well, Catherine, to speak about other players at other clubs at this stage. But obviously, anything like that should come about, then obviously you'll be the first to know. But for me, talking about other players now would be wrong for me to do that.
Okay, fair enough. Just more generally speaking, are any new arrivals imminent?
1 hour, 24 hours is a long time in football, as you know, Catherine. And what I would say is that at the moment, no. But as I said, an hour to 24 hours is a long time in football.
Watch this space. FA Cup on Sunday then. How do you beat Man City at the Etihad?
Yeah, no, we go there, and obviously we know they're difficult opponents. We know the tremendous home record that they've got. But we go in terms of how we've always planned and prepared for games. We know it's a difficult game, of course we do know that. But we go there buoyed with our 6,000 travelling fans. And we go there with an air of expectation to continue to build what we've been about, really. So it's a difficult game, but a real game that we're looking forward to, Catherine.
And if you are, as you say, looking to build, do you play your strongest side?
That's always been my metaphor, and will continue to do that as a manager. I think we have a real responsibility to the club and to our fans and that's what would be required, and that's how we've always wanted to do, is building that continuity, building that understanding, and growing together as a group. And I think, again, this week and the game on Sunday presents that opportunity, so we'll always continue to do that.
Would you want Pep Guardiola to play his strongest side?
I think it's fair to say that whatever team Pep plays will be an excellent team, because of the calibre of players that they've got, and the depth to their squad. And it's credit to them. You know, they've been there and earned it for a reason, and they're in the at this moment as we speak about them, potentially the best team in the world, and they've deserved that because of the awards that they've picked up, and the continuity and the consistency that they've shown for a long period of time.
Is Pep Guardiola somebody that you've met previously? I understand that while you were with West Brom as under-23s coach, you maybe had an opportunity to talk to him then while you were working with Tony Pulis. Is that correct?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, you know, it was a time ago when I was at West Brom, and yeah, obviously, you know, he came obviously with the team down to the Hawthorn, so had the opportunity to sit in the room and have a brief discussion with him. So yeah, a memorable moment for me. Obviously, being very early in my coaching journey, and meeting somebody that, you know, was spoken and still is spoken about in the high level parts of the game, and as I said, you know, an ultra competitive individual, which you expect us to be on the touchline, but a very humbling individual inside the manager's room, really, which was quite refreshing to see.
How much can you draw on conversations like that, or be privy to those kind of conversations to shape your own coaching path, if you like?
Yeah, no, they're wonderful experiences that there's no coaching manual or any coursework out there they can do. It's just that special moments, what those individuals give you at that moment in time, and the special moments really that I suppose you take things from it from your own perspective going forward. As I said, at the time I was a coach at West Brom, and since then my journey's led me to be a manager. And on Sunday, I'm competing against him on Sunday. So it just goes to show the journey. At the time, Pep was a manager and still is a manager, aspiring to win trophies then and leagues then, as he is now. And I suppose I've just been enthused by his determination and his continuity and his consistency to do well. So that's something that, you know, we're all aspiring to do.
You pulled off a giant killing with Sheffield Wednesday last season, at the time a League One side, obviously knocked Newcastle out of the FA Cup. What was the key to your success in that encounter? And again, is it something that you can use to your advantage to take on Manchester City?
Yeah, I think when you go against the clubs with the size and ilk and the quality what they've got, I think it's a joint effort. It's a joint effort by everybody to play their part. In terms of it, it's not just a solo identity to look upon the manager. It's the part I play, the part the players play, the staff play, the supporting fans. All those things were aligned last season in terms of getting the energy, and it's needed in all departments really, Catherine, and certainly for Huddersfield Town to go there on Sunday and do that. All those aspects have to be aligned really, and some. So those are the things we're calling upon in terms of as a group as we prepare for this game on Sunday.
Yeah, you've talked about the travelling support, 6,000 away fans, particularly with them in mind. Do you have to go to the Etihad and just give it a real go and see what happens? Don't show them too much respect in a way.
Yeah, no, there's always a respect element for all teams that we play against. However you set up and however you deem how you go against them, there's always that respect element, because there is, in terms of the preparation, we are energised by the fact of hearing that we've got 6,000 of our fans travelling there. It's a wonderful occasion, and I said it, you know, when the draw was made, it was a special time for the club for this draw when it was made, and with the 6,000 travelling fans, they epitomise that really in terms of coming over there and giving us their support, and I'm sure they'll be heard all afternoon on Sunday. So in terms of us for a group, a staff and a group of players, you know, we have a responsibility to them as we do with the club, and we're looking forward to the game.
lastly from me, just on team news, Ben Jackson, Jonathan Hogg, have they recovered from illness, and how's Jaheim Headley?
Yeah, and Hoggy and Jacko are both fine. They've trained, which is great to have them back in the team. Jaheim Headley, we expect him out for a little bit of time. What that prognosis of time is at this moment in time is not being diagnosed, but we'll wait and see what the medical team say.
Yeah, what was the injury with Jaheim?
He sustained an injury to his ankle.
Right, okay. And lastly, on Delano Bergsorg, is he close to a return yet?
And unfortunately for Dell, no, Dell won't be close to any return. We're just waiting for a confirmation with him, so he won't be making a return anytime soon.
Okay, and that's purely down to the injury. I'm not sure about the terms of his loan agreement. Is he sticking around at the club?
Yeah, no, Catherine, that's just purely down to the injury.
Right, good to know. Good luck on Sunday. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Catherine. Good to see you.
Thank you, Catherine. We'll come into the room next with Stephen, who's looking for the microphone, Leon. Thank you. From We Are Terriers.
Thanks, Leon. Hi, Darren.
Hello, mate.
Yeah, getting Alex Matos in shows the level of trust that Chelsea have with the club and with you, doesn't it? That must be quite gratifying.
Yeah, no, we're really grateful for Chelsea, and can we just thank Chelsea for allowing us to have him, because we did have competition elsewhere, and he had options to go elsewhere, and he chose to come to Huddersfield Town. So for us to get him and secure his services for the rest of the season, I'm really, really pleased that he's been able to. We've been able to secure him really with the competition we were faced with.
Yeah. Another bit of transfer business. You brought Brodie Spencer back from his loan at Motherwell. What do you think he might offer to the side now?
Yeah, no, we've been monitoring Brodie really, really quite closely, really, and I wanted to get him back because, and just to work with him, and it gives competition down that right hand side, which is what we've wanted, and we've wanted to bring him back because, you know, on this journey that we are, we want him to be part of this journey, really, and we're really pleased in terms of, you know, and thankful for Motherwell for the game time and everything that he's had up there, which have given him massive experiences in terms of that, and we hope that stands him in good stead to be part of where we want to be and where we want to go for the second half of the season. So he's been back with us and back in training the last few days. I've been getting to know him as an individual and him as a player, and he too, for me, seems like a new signing because I simply not had him in the building. So to have him back is it's nice, and we'll continue to work. So we think he'll add more competition than that right inside the pitch.
Yeah, he's very highly rated in the academy. You know, former academy player. He played some games. Just looked like he needed that experience. Played practically every minute for Motherwell, though. Should stand him in good stead, hopefully. And
that's what we said. You know, we get a player that's in a robust, fit state to play. He's been playing games up there, and you know, for him, he's come back to the club and he's been welcomed back to the club with open arms. It was a loan move at the first half of the season. That's gone incredibly well for him and for us, and now we get him back for the second half of the season, and hopefully he can show, in terms of the game time and minutes that he's had in Scotland, and justify the levels where he's moved to, and bring them to us as a team and as a football club for the second half.
Speaking of fullback options, Ollie Turton, we were told a few months ago, was probably due back around now. How's his recovery going? Yeah,
really good. You know, to have Ollie back in training is so wonderful. He's a wonderful man, a human being, good player, real good quality, and he's building his fitness. So he's back in training, which is wonderful to see. And what he just needs, Steve, is probably a game or two and just build volume, really, and he'll get that in training. So providing he gets no hiccups, it's just a matter of time for Ollie.
Is there any chance he might be able to make his comeback this weekend?
We don't think this weekend. It'd be unfair to do it because we just want him to get some more volume and some more time, really. So we wouldn't say that it'd be this weekend.
Okay. I mean, it'd be good to, with Spencer and Turton, them coming back, it comes at a good time, doesn't it? Because Headley out, Nakayama off on international duty, Mike Pearson's still out. That defence could do with those extra options, couldn't it?
Yeah, and that's the reason as well, you know, not the sole reason Brodie came back in, but also with Ollie fit and available, with the trio, like you said, away on international duty or injuries. It's nice to have them, those bodies back in, just to bring a little bit of balance back into the defensive units. So it's really, really pleased to have them back, really, and to see Ollie on the pitch. I think not just Ollie himself being on the pitch, but the lift that he gives everybody being out there, because he's a senior, and what he brings to the group in terms of his positivity. It's wonderful to see. So as the days go by, Ollie will start to pick up that confidence and regain that mindset, because now he's got bodies flying around him in training. It's exactly what he needs at this stage of his rehabilitation.
You've got David Kasumu at right wing back. Are you hoping you can now move him back into midfield role?
Yeah, Cass, you know, I think for Cass and what we've seen him is for somebody to have been adaptable in that position. He plugged the hole and plugged the gap for us, and even with the same personnel that we've got back in the team, you know, for games, if we need to play Cass out there, we see no problem in playing there, even though we've got the players available. So, but it does give us that option to move him back inside the pitch as well.
Good competition in central midfield now with Matos, Radoni, Kasumu, Hogg, Wiles. Strong choices for you.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted, really, and that's what it gives us. We feel it gives us the balance to start games and finish games strong in that midfield, really. And I think that's what, with Alex coming in there with the players that you've named, you know, we've not named a couple of young ones that we feel is really close to it as well. You know, obviously you've seen Brahima playing there. You've seen you've seen Josh Osterfield playing there. We've had to deputise with Reg in there, and also another young player that I think's improving all the time is young Tom Iapenda. Really, I think he's really improving a lot, really, and the way he's going about it at the moment, he's doing really, really well. So we feel we've got options in there, but it's the options that are wanted in there, Steve, and we've got them in there now.
Obviously, it's not Man City. We know what they're going to offer, but being the FA Cup, is there an opportunity for players like Tommy Pender to come in and perhaps make their debuts this weekend?
Yeah, it's not just because the cup competition. It's him improving as an individual and getting to a level, and he's been a whisker really of away from me from coming on the league game, and that's where he's at. And long may he continue. And the longer he's been training with the group, I said, you know, all he just needed was volume with the group. And when they're training with the group, Steve, they build speed, they build strength, they build quickness in thoughts, in decision making. There's a lot of things they build by just training with the first team, because they're learning and they're building. Can you imagine Tom looking at Hoggy and learning from him and being on the same team or competing against him? It can only help him really going forward in terms of the start of his journey and what the process looks like, you know, and looking at somebody across the way that's played and graced the Premier League. So all those kind of things go hand in hand, really. So for Tom, he's slowly but surely improving. With those midfield options, what do you think Alex Matos can bring that maybe you didn't have in the midfield up till now? He allows you to, certainly for me, to play into defensive roles, but can quickly add into attacking dimensions of the pitch. And he allows you to do that. He allows you to go away from home and play a certain system that will be better for us, and hopefully harder for the opponents when we're on the road, as well as being at home. So there's both aspects in defensive work and in attacking work. When he does the defensive work, it allows others to be more attacking and more adventurous. But whilst the game's going on, we've got both sides of the game, and that's what Alex allows us to do in terms of the dynamics of the team. So that's why I'm quite really pleased that we've managed to get him, and now the work can start that we've gotten him and getting him into the mindset in terms of what we need from him.
must be massive for you as a manager, because you kind of, with the benches you've had recently and the injuries you've had, it's kind of, this is the 11 I've got, this is all I can play. It ties you in a certain way, but if you've got more options now, you can have a bit more of a choice on the style you want to adopt game by game, doesn't it?
Yes, Steve, and that's what you want. But I think for myself and sort of for everybody at the club is starting games and finishing games in a certain way with the strength and power that we've started the game. And that's what we've always wanted and been in trying to. And sometimes through no fault of anybody, we've not had that option for relatively large parts of the first half of the season. Hopefully, as long as we keep everybody fit, we'll see that benefit us for the second half of the season. But not only that, we'll be able to deal with the demands of the league schedule that bit better, because you've got that strength in depth.
Are there any other players who might be looking at coming back from injury in the next weeks? Danny Ward could be one that we're looking at, seeing how he progresses next week. We think Kyle Hudlin was out, but we don't think it was as bad as first feared. We think he could be back in it, really. So those are the two that spring to mind, that come to mind straight away. That's all from me. Best of luck.
Cheers.
Thank you, Steve. Leon from the Oxford Post.
Hi, Darren. I was just wondering, this game is important. You get something from it, whether it's the result, performance, but to take into the league campaign psychologically, isn't it? You know, players winning a few battles or having a good spell in the game, that sort of thing's important. You get something, isn't it? In that regard.
Yeah, and it's a fair question to present, Leon, in terms of, I think that the biggest thing that you try and pride yourself is making sure you get the performance, because I think when you get the performance, then other things follow. Results, opportunities in games. So it's the performance. I think that's the biggest thing that we'll focus on, is the performance, because that's the thing that you're relatively in sort of control in terms of wanting to go with that mindset. So I think that's the main thing, and that's something that we've always aspired to, and that's something that we feel that over recent weeks we've been getting the performance, and probably in one or two areas, decision making or rubber the green or whatever it may be, probably not quite going our way, but we have to maintain and keep that performance going, and that togetherness and that oneness and that unity in terms of progressing as a team, and we can't afford to lose that.
Is it the biggest one-off sort of game challenge in football, going to the Etihad? I know you'll be backed by 6,000 fans, but you know they're the best team in the country on the day, and it's a huge, massive challenge, but a good one for yourself as a professional and your group of players everywhere. Yeah,
it is, and it's again, it's a fair to say that it's a one-off game of the magnitude in terms of the arena, because of what they've done over a consistent part of seasons and years gone by, and where they present themselves today. So for us, in terms of what it is, yes, it is. But yes, I'm thrilled by the 6,000 fans that's going. So it shows for us as a football club what the game means to us from a football club perspective, and you know, we go there for a day really that we all look forward to. When I was, my dad said to me when I was a kid, 8 or 9, about playing professional football. If I close my eyes and think of the arena, what I've been on at the weekend, this was it in terms of the game. So to be taking and managing a club, Huddersfield Town over there, it's a wonderful occasion for us all. But again, it's an occasion for us all, and for me as a manager, in terms of progress for us as a team, as a football club, and backed by a loyal, passionate 6,000 fan base that I'm sure will be heard come Sunday afternoon.
I was going to ask you finally, obviously you made a new signing, bringing them in nice and early, that sort of resonates with everything you're about, and getting them assimilated and up to speed. So it's encouraging in that regard, isn't it? You want to get them in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, because the quicker we get them in, Leon, the better we get to work with them and settle them down, and get them into the mindset and mentality for that performance really. So we're really pleased to have Alex in, and he's been in with the group the last couple of days, so we're pleased to have him on board.
Thank you, Leon. Mark Walker from the Press Association.
Hi, Darren. Excuse me. You touched on it just there with Leon about the wonderful occasions. You've had some high points, not least last season getting Sheffield Wednesday. Where will crossing swords with arguably the greatest manager in the world against the greatest team, where will it rank in your career?
No, it's a special moment because, as I said, you know, I had the opportunity of meeting him and seeing his team a few years ago, and I was coaching then. But obviously now to be taking a team and competing against him is wonderful for myself, the staff, and the group of players. Because arguably now, I think we could all agree that, as it stands today, they are the best team in the world. So to be up against them in a cup match, it just goes to show the beauty of the FA Cup, and that's why the FA Cup is such a special cup competition and will always remain a special cup competition, because the nostalgia of the cup brings these stories and brings these moments together, and that's why I'm just really enthralled by it, and it just goes to show you the beauty of the FA Cup.
It's going to be on BBC iPlayer. The club's been off the radar for a short while, having been in the Premier League, but it's going to be a great occasion to just put Huddersfield, the club, back under the spotlight.
Yeah, and it's what we've wanted to do as a football club, is, you know, to be in games like this. I do, and I'm going to speak biased because I'm Huddersfield Town manager, but it's a special club, Huddersfield Town, and as I said, you know, since taking the role in the job, it's been an honour for myself to come and represent this football club and continue to work hard for this football club. So the FA Cup's a special moment for us all. I think each and every single one of us, the 6,000 fans we got going, the fans that will be watching it on TV or streaming it live, we've all got our memories of the FA Cup in some way or some sort of capacity, and we can bring back memories and we can look forward to the future, the game on Sunday. What a special moment it is. So when you put all that together and compile all that together, it's a special moment, and that's why it's an honour for me as a manager, really taking the team and competing in this cup competition, and I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Best of luck.
Thank you, Mark. Right, we're going to end the stream there, guys. Just hold for it. That's okay. Thank you.